The Big Ten Network is proud to bring you back-to-back Big Ten women's gymnastics meets. We start in Happy Valley as Maryland is in town to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. Maryland with a signature win over Minnesota this year. Penn State with their second best score of the season at the Big Fives. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dean Linke alongside four-time Big Ten champ from Michigan, Olivia Karras. And Olivia, you heard me say a big win for Maryland over Minnesota this year.
Both teams have been great this season. They've had a lot of highs, a few lows. They're both looking to be extremely aggressive this afternoon and hit 24 for 24 for a big score.
Audrey Barber has been awesome her whole career at Maryland.
Audrey Barber is such a stellar athlete. Her DNA is winning, and that's so fitting considering she's the #2 all-time scorer in Maryland history, and let me tell you, she is not backing down. Emma Silverman is back. She tore her ACL last season, but has already come back to the mat stronger and more confident than ever before. Keep an eye on her on all 4 events.
And for Penn State, bonus coverage of the great Lauren Bridgens.
She is so spectacular. Lauren Bridgens, the leader of this young Penn State team, is contributing on all 4 events. Remember, she has a career high of a 10 on bars and really continuing to upgrade her gymnastics in her final season. The freshman, Isabella Salcedo, is the bright light that has come into this Penn State team with personality, difficulty, and confidence that is contagious to the rest of the team. And finally, the 5th-year senior, Alyssa Bonzel, is so stellar. She's the bars anchor, career high 9.95. Keep an eye out for her on floor and bars. She's looking to put up big numbers.
The head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions, Sarah Brown, now in her 5th season, spent some time with Olivia Karras as an assistant 1 year at Michigan, a big-time gymnast at Missouri and in the USA. And then Brett Nelligan, 13 seasons after replacing his father, Bob. Brett Nelligan with some signature wins the last couple years as he's putting Maryland back on the map.
Both of these head coaches are doing such a great job with their programs. They just need to get a little more consistency under their belts, but they have large scoring potential.
Rec Hall, historic Rec Hall. Such a great venue. Let's take a look at the lineup for Penn State, starting on the vault. As we can tell you, Penn State, number 24 in the country, their highest score has been a 49.075, as you see their average right there. They've got a great anchor in Rushlow at 9.9.
They're really looking to minimize deductions here. Sarah told us that their goal for this meet is to hit all events, don't count a fall, get a 49 on each event, averaging about a 9.8, and they want to demand scores. Do the routines, execute them well, demand the judges to reward them.
Freshman leadoff for Penn State from Latvia, who had a 9.775 this year. There's Sarah Brown, the mother of 2. She talked a lot about how being a mom has helped her be a better coach, and I liked her response. So here comes Alina Virova from Latvia.
Big opening vault. She does a full twisting Yurchenko. And there's that stick that Penn State is looking for. Sarah told us if they can stick a couple vaults here and there to get their meet started, this could be big for them. Excellent entry onto the table, a little bit of a shuffle of the legs, so maybe not a perfect stick, but definitely minimizing deductions, and earns a crown for her efforts.
She did earn the crown. Penn State, by the way, ranked in the top 25 in the vault, as well as the bars and floor. Speaking of the bars, Maryland 20th in the country. They've had a high score this year of 49.325. Brett Nelligan's leader on the bars is Audrey Barber, 10th in the conference, 30th overall. Like Penn State, leading off with a freshman on vault, Brett Nelligan will lead off with a freshman on bars. Sierra Kondo, a freshman from Saratoga Springs, New York. She had a 9.875 against Nebraska and is coming off a 9.8 in the Big Five.
I love seeing Brett walk Sierra through that routine. You saw them do the routine together, go through the motions. That's a great way to get your athletes calm ahead of their routine. Stay in the moment. Don't think about the exterior factors they can't control.
Mentioned that win over number 6 Minnesota, who set a program record last night on the Big Ten Network. Maryland posted a season high 196.7 to get that big win over the Golden Gophers. What a great shot of the deep breath right there for the freshman.
Big opening routine for Sierra. Opens it up with a complicated combination. A straddle Jaeger directly down to a shoot over. Very nicely done. Great handstand on the high bar. She's going to end with a double layout, an E dismount. Fantastic opening routine for Maryland. Brett Nelligan is going to be so pleased by that. He really emphasized their difficulty on bars. You see with that great release combination. All 6 gymnasts end with a double layout. That skill right there. And if Sierra Kondo is going to start with a stick, let's hope these sticks are contagious.
So by the way, Courtney Chinnery, and the score right there for Virova is a new season high and obviously a new career high for the freshman. Chinnery, a 9.9 this year.
Another full twisting Yurchenko for Penn State. Great job. She really cleaned that up. I saw her spend extra time in the warm-up period doing some stick drills, some body positioning drills with assistant coach Ralph, who coaches vault. Very nice job in the air. Little pike on the body position going into the landing, which resulted in the hop backwards. But so far, both of these vaults for Penn State have been the cleanest I've seen all season.
Chinnery coming up at 9.725 at the Big Fives. As we mentioned earlier, her career high is a 9.9. Back-to-back freshmen to start for Coach Nelligan. Now it's Rhea LeBlanc, whose sister is injured but also on the team, and a big-time member of the team, the freshman from the state of Massachusetts, Arlington Catholic High School. She actually placed 9th on the bars at the 2019 JO National Qualifier, but she gets inserted in the lineup because of the injury to her sister.
And this is her first ever career collegiate bar routine, so a very big moment for Rhea LeBlanc, set up very well by Sierra Kondo. Slightly short on that first handstand, but moves well through it. Great pike Jaeger, very difficult skill. Short again on the handstand, needs to get those handstands up. Hoping to see that here. Better on the handstand, just the dismount. See if she can get that stick as well. Step forward, but for a first-time career collegiate bar routine, that is a win in her column. Brett Nelligan has done such a great job making sure all of his gymnasts have that difficult double layout dismount, and Rhea LeBlanc is as good as it gets.
Wait for the score for LeBlanc. We can tell you Kondo matching her score from last week at the Big Fives as we move over to Jessica Johnson, 9.9 this year for the freshman.
Another full twisting Yurchenko. So well done, so lovely in the air. She has a great body position, nice height off the table, a little bit of a pike down on the landing, but check out that pop off. Tiny pike down, a little lack of control as she saluted the judges. You saw her fall back a teeny bit. The judges could take a deduction on that, as control is a key element they're looking for, but definitely good enough to get the tiara and the boa. I love that Mardi Gras boa they've got going.
Yeah, she gets both there. Penn State, by the way, coming off a strong performance at the Big Five, their second highest point total, where they saw 3 freshmen join that exclusive 9.9 club.
And they have a 9.9 wall, where when you hit a 9.9 or above, you get to put your name on the wall. So lots of exciting visual achievements over in Happy Valley.
See the first two scores, 9-8, and then LeBlanc making her debut on the bars. Now it's Elizabeth DeBarbery, the sophomore from Westchester, PA. 9.850 career high. She had a 9.7 at the Big Fives. Massive
Ray to start things off, directly connected to a shoot over, a little low on the shoot over and short on that handstand, but big connection here, a blindfold to a double layout, and that's a stuck landing, exactly what Brett Nelligan wanted from this bar squad. Wow, Dean.
Yeah, the pride of Bishop Shanahan High School, Elizabeth DeBarbery.
Big Ray release move. She gets such height. Notice she catches a little close to the bar, has to bend her arms, and that makes the amplitude on the shoot over less than ideal. But check out that exclamation point on the routine. Brett Nelligan is happy about that. 2 hands in the air.
Here we go. Lauren Bridgens switching in the order with Isabella Salcedo, this super senior. 2018 had a 9.925.
Lauren's going to do a full twisting Yurchenko. She's training the 1.5. I know a lot of people are wondering when we're going to see her magical Yurchenko 1.5, and she's training them again, but keeping it safe right now with this full twisting Yurchenko, but so well done. Just a little scoot backwards. The height is great. The body position is awesome. Sees the ground, opens it up. That should be a big score.
So she also doubles down on the boa and the crown. She's been so great at Penn State, also overcoming a big injury and then the bonus year. As Brett Nelligan talking to Emma Silberman, DeBarbery in with a 9.8. Brett Nelligan spent a lot of time talking about the level of difficulty with all 6 athletes doing dismounts. He thought that was important for us to talk about.
It is. A lot of times people scrape the surface of their routines, hitting the requirements and ending with a connection release, a double tuck out of a blindfold. But his bar squad all does single bar releases and double layout dismounts. Very important note going into this competition that their difficulty is really up to par.
Silberman, 9.875, Olivia, 3 times, including at the Big Fives.
Different combination there, a half turn into a ginger, very nice. Lovely bail handstand. She usually has some problem with her legs, but not there at all. Little short on that handstand, but a stick here would be big. Oh, just a step forward, a little under-rotated. That means she didn't complete the skill all the way around to get that stuck dismount. The step forward is a deduction as well as the under-rotation. Looks like her chest was down a bit, which resulted in that, but the rest of the routine was very well done.
As we go back to vault, we can tell you Bridgens, 6th straight meet where her vault score was 9.825 or higher, as here's Isabella Salcedo, 9.825.
Unique vault, a half on, front pike off. We do not see this vault as often in NCAA gymnastics, and she is one of the best in the country. Half onto the table, look at the body position in the pike and opens it up, sees the ground, a little knees going into the mat, but you have to bend your knees to land, so understandable. Very nice job by the freshman.
Freshman from Arlington, Texas, Laurel Springs Online School. As you said, bringing some sauce to Penn State. So Silberman in with a 9.750. Aleka Chiknius up next for Maryland, the junior from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Chiknius 9.9 2 times. The last time was in 2020. Her season high 9.875. She had a 9.85 at the Big Fives.
And she can go big. They need it right now after that 9.75 from Emma Silberman. Nice first handstand. Blind change to a massive straddle Jaeger. My gosh, she almost didn't catch the bar on that. Textbook bail handstand. So far, Brett Nelligan is loving it. Little short there on that handstand. They're rushing the handstands on the high bar. And a step forward on the dismount. She needs to hold that landing before stepping in order to show complete control and garner 0 deduction execution-wise, but flying high on that dismount. Need to get her toes up a teeny bit more. See, the eyes are down and a little lack of control on the salute.
Penn State with one more to go. Cassidy Rushlow. They're already at a 49.150 on vault, which would be a season high with one gymnast to go. So playing with house money right now. Penn State at home here at Rec Hall. And you felt like Sarah Brown could tell that Penn State was ready for a big day.
She did, and she knows this team is heating up, and what better place to do it than at home. Excellent job. A little lack of control. We're saying that a lot. You will see it in the replay momentarily, and how she doesn't completely stop and show control in the skill. Looked like she was a little high onto the table. Needed to show control on that landing before turning and saluting the judge, which is why they will take a deduction. But the body positioning was very well done in the air, and a big high five from Ralph. And the team should get a great score from that rotation.
Now we move to Audrey Barber, the senior from Temple Hills, Maryland, Thomas A. Edison High School. She had a 9.95 for a career high back in 2020, a 9.9 in the win over Minnesota, and a 9.85 last week at the Big Five.
Now buckle your seatbelts for this first release move. It is sky high, Dean. We could sit underneath it.
Speaking of sky high, we can tell you Salcedo 9.875 season high on vault and best score so far as Barber's rolling.
Massive Hindorf 2.8 direct shoot over. So far so good. Again, a little rushed on that handstand. They look a little tight on the high bar, but she can stick this. Slight scoot backwards, but man, was that release move massive.
So we do know Penn State has already put up their best score of the season on vault. Brett Nelligan seems very pleased with his Maryland team, coming in 20th in the country. As he said, one thing he's super proud of is the 6 single bar, 6 double layouts, all E dismounts, talking about difficulty and more difficulty. There's Sarah Brown. She's the mother of 2 boys, Brett the mother of 2 girls, and they had to drop the last one. They didn't even need it. They already have a season high at 49.15.
Great scores for Penn State. I don't think they have hit this number in a while. Great confidence booster moving through the rest of the season. If they can just nail down a few more sticks in that rotation, they are golden.
So Maryland will have an exhibition for Brett Nelligan. Sonia Glauber, the senior from Mission Viejo, California. She did do the bars in 2020 and also 2019. Barber, by the way, 9.875. And as Glauber gets ready, she was the 2018 Level 10 SoCal State Champion on the bars.
She's returning to competition from elbow surgery, so this is an exciting moment for her to get back on the competition floor after the injury. Nice first handstand, massive Tkachev single bar release move. Nice positioning on that clear hip, down to the low bar. So far so good for Sonia Glauber. Lovely handstand on the high bar. That's the best one of the rotation. And a double layout, again, needs to hold the landing before turning and saluting. But if I'm Brett Nelligan, I'm taking note of that bar routine, and I might slide that into my lineup because, man, is she talented. Big double layout, sees the ground, can't hold it, has to turn and salute a little quicker than she may have liked, but awesome getting that under her belt.
She almost did hold it. Brett Nelligan likes her team, but Lauren Bridgens been around forever. She's outstanding. The future is bright, though. Isabella Salcedo with a season high. Penn State rolling on the vault through one rotation. Later tonight, Johnny Davis leads the 13th ranked Badgers into a showdown with Ron Harper Jr. and the Scarlet Knights. Big Ten basketball tonight at 6 Eastern on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. First of two Big Ten women's gymnastics matchups. Right after this one, it'll be Nebraska and the reigning national champion Michigan Wolverines. Brett Nelligan scores on the uneven bars. They drop LeBlanc, but get that 9.875 from Barber in the anchor spot.
They definitely opened the door for Penn State. Didn't stick as many dismounts as they may have wanted, so they're going to have to dial it up a bit and stick some vaults.
Sarah Brown, an elite-level gymnast at Missouri and with the U.S. program, saw her team on the vault get a 49.15, a season high, led by Salcedo, the youngster who you're really high on.
Love seeing this vault lineup really start to put things together. If they can keep that same attention to detail on bars, they could really shock themselves with how great of a competition they have.
So through one rotation, Sarah Brown's Penn State team ranked 25 in the country with a lead over Maryland, 49.15. Maryland at 49.025. Alongside the six-time All-American from Michigan, Olivia Karras, former Big Ten all-around champion, and Lauren Bridgens back in 2018 on the road. I remember it like it was yesterday, a perfect 10 for Bridgens on the bars.
She is so capable of hitting this again. Her technique is textbook, and her awareness of where the ground is and how to find that landing. I mean, look at the air awareness. The team loves it. I think she can surprise herself sometimes. She doesn't realize how talented she is. I think tonight could be an awakening moment for her to realize, dang, I'm Lauren Bridgens. I'm pretty good.
Yeah, that was on the road at BYU. Not always easy to get a 10 on the road, but that was perfection. Speaking of perfections, a couple 10s yesterday for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. We'll have more on that later. And you see Bridgens 10, Alyssa Bonzo with a career high of 9.95. Beckwith has delivered a 9.9, and Cassidy Rushlow with a 9.925. As you see, Penn State 14th in the country on
they
bars.
have major scoring potential on bars. Again, they're looking to hit 24 for 24 routines. If they can do that with attention to detail on the handstands, the stuck landings, they could really turn it up a notch.
4-minute warm-up period between rotations, and both teams using all of four. Let's take a look at the vault order for Nelligan. Kogler, Silberman, DeBarbery, Ware, Rubio, and Barber. You see, just like in the bars, Maryland on the vault also 20th in the nation.
They have great potential on this event. They have all full twisting Yurchenkos. Besides Emma Silberman, she does a full onto the table, tuck off, very difficult vault, starts from a 10.0. So keep an eye on these landings. Brett Nelligan really wants to see them stick or minimize the deduction as much as possible.
Still some warm-up time here. Penn State on the bars. There is Barber for Maryland. Barber will go in the anchor spot for Coach Nelligan. We may see an exhibition for Maryland as well. Look there at Lauren Bridgens. There's Sarah Brown. She talked a lot about the fact that those freshmen you already mentioned are on that 9-9 wall, but you also felt like that she's got a good class coming in as well, and she comes in here, has to deal with COVID and a couple other situations, and you feel like she's getting ready to turn it around.
I think Penn State is on the rise. Once Lauren Bridgens graduates and everyone's gone from that class, class who's really set the standard. The youngsters are going to be the ones who continue moving the program forward. So it's up to the freshmen who are continuing to put up big numbers to keep leading as if they're seniors, because they're going to have to do it pretty soon.
See Lauren Bridgens leading that huddle from Darnestown, Maryland. And of course that perfect 10 back in 2018. So Josephine Kogler, a career high of 9.9 for Maryland. She's from the state of New York, two-time Junior Olympic national competitor. She had that 9.9 this year against Nebraska, coming off a 9.625 at the Big Fives.
And Brett Nelligan told us that he is really looking for this vault team to stick 3 to 4 vaults. Now, it seems like that's a pretty big ask, but all of these gymnasts are capable of sticking these vaults. If they go big, tighten the body position, I think they can do it.
They do have two 10.0 starting values on vault for Maryland. As I mentioned, 20th in the country. Their high score this year was 49.3. They're led by Rubio, who is 10th in the Big Ten Conference, 33rd overall. But once again, they start with a freshman in the leadoff spot.
Josephine opens up with a full twisting Yurchenko, and she's capable of sticking. Great job, little teeny micro hop. I couldn't tell if she hopped in place or moved back a little. Regardless, it will be a slight deduction, but nice pop off the table, good body position, and just a tiny hop backwards, but that's a great leadoff vault for Maryland. Good body position, wow, love to see that tightness going into the landing.
Nice start as back-to-back. Nelligan going with freshmen. Speaking of freshmen, Penn State also back-to-back going with freshmen. Jessica Johansson, she's had a 9.825 two times this season. She had a 9.725 at the Big Fives.
Big connection there, a blind full to a Tkachev. Lovely handstand on the high bar, and big pack salto. Back up to the high bar. Just the dismount, it's a double layout. I've seen her stick this before. Fantastic job, wow! What a leadoff performance for both teams. I mean, they came to play today.
Yeah, Penn State does look sharp.
Look at the height on that dismount, sees the ground, and fist pumps in the air from assistant coach Ralph. Team loves it. Loves seeing gymnasts get that stick at the end of the routine, a big exclamation point.
Yeah, that's a stuck landing indeed for Penn State. We'll move back over to Silverman. Kogler in with a 9.8. Silverman from New Hope, Pennsylvania. She had a 9.875 back in 2020. Season high 9.85. 9.8 last week at the Big Fives.
Different vault here, a full-on, a tuck-off. She needs to control the power, and that's exactly what she needed to do. She tends to go out instead of up on that vault, but this time she really knew where she was. Check out the entry, a full twist on, a tuck-off, sees the ground, keeps her stomach tight, holds on to that landing, and the team knows that she's been working really hard on finding that stick.
By the way, Jessica Johansson with a new career high at 9.85. Both judges giving her a 9.85 as we move to Maddie Johnston, the sophomore from Boyd's, Maryland. Her career high came last year at 9.875. Her season high is a 9.85.
First handstand was a little off. She had to arch in her back, but brought it back very well on that connection. Short handstand there. See if she can get the stick. 2 for 2 for Sarah Shire Brown's Penn State Nittany Lions. My goodness.
Johansson and Johnston, double J's, double sticks for Penn State.
She does this dismount in connection, sees the ground, knows exactly where she is. So great to see these sticks really come through when they need it most.
Can't ask for a better start. As we move to Elizabeth DeBarbary, the sophomore from Westchester, PA, 9.825 against Michigan State. She had a 9.75 at the Big Fives.
Another full twisting Yurchenko. Hop backwards, but again, their body position in the air is really nice. They've done a great job cleaning up the little details, keeping their position flat in the hips. That means complete straight line, no bend. Little bit there going into the landing. She looked like she was trying to flare it out, but piked down a tad, which resulted in the hop backwards, but nice job.
I got to ask you about the hop backwards. Kogler, Silverman, and DeBarbary all with that about a 6-inch hop.
They're overcooking it a teeny bit, and that comes from the positioning in the air. If they can open their hips and trust the landing, they will stick it. When you pike down your hips and try to find the floor faster, you bounce backwards.
Nikki Beckwith, freshman from Westerville, Ohio, 9.9 this year at Iowa, a 9.875, and down she goes.
So much height in that Jaeger. It looks like she just couldn't get her grips over the bar. Such a shame, too, since she's been so solid for Penn State.
Yeah, to already be part of that freshman that have the 9.9, but they'll probably need to drop this one.
They would love to drop this one. Oh, no. Hung on a little too long on the bar before releasing for her pack salto. See her goes in and lets go a little late, which is she couldn't get her body positioning over the bar. She was reaching a little bit, and she has about 45 seconds to chalk up and get back up on the bar. It's always so difficult to have to continue your routine after not one but two falls. It's very tricky, but props to her for getting back up here and finishing. She finishes the routine with a double layout. Good for her. It's always so hard to have that happen, but kudos for getting back up there and finishing off strong.
Freshman from Genoa Christian High School, Westerville, Ohio. Remember, Penn State still has Rushlow, Bridgens, and Bonzo, and they had a great start with Johansson and Johnston. We move back over to Olivia Weir.
Another full twisting Yurchenko. Oh gosh, a little off there. I don't know what happened. It looked like her hands didn't hit the table properly, which resulted in her not completing the skill. See there, the left hand looked a little funky. Big pike down and a deep squat position. That is a point of emphasis that the judges look for, is your bend in the knees, how deep the squat is, and that will probably be an extra deduction considering how far she bent down.
Right before her, DeBarbary matching her score from a week ago at the Big Fives. We're 9.8 this season 2 times. She had a 9.75 last week. As we move back over to Penn State, you know the deal with the falls for Beckwith. Cassidy Rushlow needs to step up big. The junior from Daggett Gold Medal Gymnastics. Back in 2021, she put up a 9.925. Her season high this year is a 9.85. She's done it twice. Last week, the Big Fives had a 9.825.
And this is a very crucial routine for Penn State for the remainder of this bar lineup, as well as the remainder of the meet. They need to get back on track. Excellent handstand on the high bar. Now that's a perfect handstand. Straddle Jaeger directly to a shoot over. So well done. Another great handstand on the high bar. Just the blindfold. Good job. To a double tuck. And that's how you bring it back. That's 3 stuck landings for Penn State. And that routine will change the course of this competition for them, thanks to Cassidy Rushlow. My gosh, that's so lovely on the high bar. Perfect handstand positioning, and finishes that blind change well in the 10-degree mark to not get a deduction, and a stuck landing. Bravo, Cassidy Rushlow.
She may be close to a 9.9. Again, her career high is 9.925. Alexis Rubio, the senior from Berlin, New Jersey, had a 9.9 in that big win over Minnesota, a 9.8 last week.
And she can fly high. Check this out. Big vault. I saw her stick it last weekend. I wanted that stick for her. It looks like she piked down a tad bit and had to take the hop backwards, but that is a textbook perfect full twisting Yurchenko. Little too much juice going backwards, but nice to bring it back after the mishap from Olivia Weir.
So Alexis Rubio right before Audrey Barber, and now Lauren Bridgens. Rushlow with a 9.85. We already showed you that 2018 perfect 10 for Bridgens at BYU. She's hit a 9.9 this year as well.
She had some trouble on this release movement last week. Not today. Great handstand on the high bar. Wow, very nice. Oh my gosh, hung on to it. She was trying so hard not to take a step. Had to swing her arms. That is going to be a flat half-tenth deduction for swinging her arms around, but another great routine to bring it back for Penn State on bars. Good blind change, full, double tuck, sees the ground, tries to salute too fast, and turns to cover it up as well as possible. But again, that's a hit. They needed that.
Lauren Bridgens. As we move over to Audrey Barber. Rubio, by the way, at 9.775. The best score so far has come from Silberman at a 9.825. Audrey Barber, 9.9 twice last year, including here at Penn State.
Beautiful full twisting Yurchenko. She's been training the 1.5. She's done it a couple times this season, once very well and once sat it down. But with the mishap from Olivia Weir, I know they were looking to get a nice consistent score, and that's exactly what she's going to do. Beautiful height, flares it out, and teeny scoot backwards. She's such a delight to watch.
One judge in already with a 9.85 for Barber as we move to Alyssa Bonzo, the senior, 9.95. Career high set this year.
So far, so good on that Maloney to Bale connection. Just the dismount, it's a double layout. She needs this stick. So close, teeny hop forward, but they avoided the low score earlier in the lineup and came back with the veterans to make sure they didn't count it. How about that for teamwork? Beautiful double layout, teeniest little scoot of the feet. Sarah Brown is clapping and jumping. She loves it.
Rushlow with a 9.85, Bridgens with a 9.9. We'll wait for Bonzo's score. Barber's in with a 9.85. Samantha Gilbert, the sophomore from Hamden, Connecticut, Sacred Heart Academy. She had a 9.85 at the Big Ten Championships last year.
And this is an exhibition vault, so it will not count toward the team total. Sam does a Yurchenko half. Very nicely done. Looked like she stuck it. She did have to take a step out of it to salute, which does show a little bit of a lack of control, but that's a very viable vault for Maryland to use in the postseason.
You get the feeling this one is going to be tight between Maryland and Penn State. As Penn State will also have an exhibition, Bella Romagnano.
This is a great opportunity for Bella to get a bar routine and competition under her belt. Maloney up to the high bar, hack salto, a little leg separation on that release move. Great job working through that half turn. Good handstand on the high bar. Just the dismount, a double layout. Step forward, a little under-rotated, but to exhibition a routine with an E dismount with a double layout, that is showing a lot of depth and promise for Penn State.
Maryland posting a 49.0 on vault, but Penn State looking really good. Silberman with a massive score for Maryland as the huddle here through two rotations for Penn State, trying to come up as Penn State with a 49-275 on bars sets a new season high. Back-to-back season highs for Penn State, and they lead Maryland through two. The third rotation around the corner. Gymnastics on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by State Farm. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. There is a lot of real deal teams in the Big Ten Conference. Make no mistake about that. Michigan, your reigning national champions, they've already thrown up two 198s, but last night, a new program record for Jenny Hansen and the Minnesota Golden Gophers with 2 10s.
Lexi Ramler's 10 on balance beam was a carbon copy of every 10 she's done on that event, but this one meant a little more. You see her get super emotional on the event, but then they go to floor. They need a massive team score to get the job done to go over 198, and Maya Hooten does this. She gets a perfect 10, sticks the last landing flawlessly, and they know at this point they have set both a new program record and they go over a 198. I love seeing the excitement and joy in front of a home crowd. My gosh, this will never get old.
What an exclamation point Maya Hooten put on that 198.025. Youngsters like Gianna Gertis, also huge for Jenny Hansen, knowing that the turnover for the Golden Gophers, like it is at Michigan, and like Sarah Brown is talking about at Penn State, really all of these Big Ten teams, including Coach Nelligan's teams, the future is very bright.
It is, and they need to continue seeing these moments that are happening with their super seniors, their seniors, people who have been in this sport and in this conference for a long time. This is an opportunity to be a sponge, learn from them, understand the experience and what it means to compete in the best conference. The Big Ten is really making moves up in the rankings, and I think this meet as well is a great opportunity for Penn State and Maryland to do the same.
Olivia, there's something about the bright lights of the Big Ten Network. We saw it last night with Minnesota. We've seen it all season long. And here today, Penn State has set season highs in each of their first two rotations today. They lead Maryland with a score of 98.425. Maryland at 98.025. There are three athletes in the all-around. Bridgens and Barber are deadlocked with Silberman pretty close behind, and that's going to be interesting with Bridgens and Barber, as that's your leadoff as we kicked off the show.
Both Lauren Bridgens and Audrey Barber are honestly spectacular on all four events. Both of their first two events have been great. Beam and floor are two of their best, so let's see if they can turn it up a notch and keep this all-around competition interesting.
Move to the third rotation where Maryland will do their thing on the floor. Penn State will head over to the beam. And speaking of the future, perhaps some future gymnasts for the Penn State Nittany Lions as we take a look at the lineup for Sarah Brown. You can see those youngsters rooting for Emma for sure. That's pretty clear. The lineup for Coach Brown on the beam. As you see right there, Romagnano will get a chance with Ayers, Salcedo, Durova, Bridges, and Johnson. 46 in the country. As for so many teams, the beam is that one area where it can really hurt you. Take a look at the start order for Coach Nelligan and the Maryland Terrapins on the floor. Rubio, Silberman, LeBlanc, Osterhout, Rothenbuscher, and Barber. Maryland 43rd in the country on the floor.
Both of these teams are going to important events. Maryland needs to control their power and stay in bounds on floor exercise, and Penn State's had some trouble on balance beam, and Sarah Shire-Brown has not been shy to talk about it. She told us they're playing around with lineups. They're trying to see who feels comfortable in what role, and after deciding to try a new lineup, they went back to the lineup they competed last weekend where they had success at Big Five. So looking to be comfortable in this lineup, see how it plays out, and gain some confidence.
The only event Penn State has not posted a 49 or better is on the beam. As leading off on the beam for the Penn State Nittany Lions from New Albany, Ohio, is Bella Romagnano.
Bella is a great leadoff performer. She's had a lot of success in this role. There's been some issues this season with nerves creeping in, but her first big test is right here. It's a triple series, executed very well.
Career high is a 9.825 set back in 2020. This year she had a 9.775 against the Wolverines.
She had some trouble on this last week. Split jump to double stag, not this week. Very difficult jump. She removed her eyes from the beam. And just the dismount left for Bella. If she can get a stick here, this could start off Penn State very well. And just a hop backwards, but 1 out of 1 check mark for Penn State on beam. On balance beam, you need to do a certain amount of difficulty to start from a 10.0, and that series gives her a lot of it and ends up with a side aerial to a tuck full, just the hop backwards, but the team knows that that leadoff routine was crucial.
So Maryland, 43rd overall with a high of 49.225. Alexis Rubio, the senior from Berlin, New Jersey, comes in with her hot salsa flair as Coach Nelligan calls her a floor queen.
Alexis opens up with a double pike. Nice job, little hop backwards. I wonder why she didn't lunge out of it for a no deduction lunge, but keeps moving through well.
Coming off her career high just a week ago at the Big Fives on the 9.8.
Second pass for Alexis, a 1.5 to a front layout. Gymnasts are required to connect 2 saltos in their floor routine. Lead pass, very nice. Another requirement. See her teammates in the corner cheering her on as she gears up for her last pass. A double tuck. Little bouncy on the landing. She needed to absorb the mat. She reacted a bit and didn't let herself settle into the landing, but she stayed in bounds, and that's a hit to start things off. She did so well throughout this routine. You see her get great height and just react a little too quickly to the mat, but nice job leading off for the Terps.
Alexis Rubio, the senior for Maryland. As we move back over to the beam, Maggie Ayers, a sophomore from York, PA, York Suburban High School, 9.675 career high, set this year, last week at the Big Fives.
Maggie is a newer face to this beam lineup. She really needs to settle in. Great job working through that back front aerial back handspring series. Gymnasts need to continuously move through their connections in order for it to count. She's done that well so far. She struggled on this connection last week. A hitch kick to a front aerial. Not today. Full turn, required element for gymnasts to do a turn on the balance beam. And just the dismount for Maggie. Side aerial to a full twist. Hop backward, but Sarah Brown is the first to greet her with a big clap and a high five. She knows that that one was clutch. She connects a cat leap into a side aerial full. The full didn't go up as much as I would have liked to see it. It went out a bit. Judges could deduct for lack of height, but another hit routine there, 2 for 2.
Well done by Maggie Ayers. Just the third time, as you mentioned, she's competed this year on the beam. We move back over to the floor. Rhea LeBlanc, the freshman from the state of Massachusetts, or rather Emma Silberman, my bad, it'll be LeBlanc next. So Silberman, the junior from New Hope, PA, followed by LeBlanc. She had a 9.9 in 2020, a season high of a 9.85. It's Emma Silberman with this fun, upbeat music. Brett Nelligan says very poppy. What does that mean?
I don't know. We're about to find out. She opens it up with a Rudy, was supposed to be a layout step out, but was a tuck and ended up stepping out of bounds. That's a flat 1/10 deduction for stepping out of bounds regardless of how many steps, and still smiling through this routine. Nice to see even after the mistake. Last pass for Emma. She does a 2-pass floor routine. She packs all the difficulty into 2 passes. It's a difficult one. A front handspring to a front double twist. Much better on that pass. Good job recovering from that early mistake. Unfortunately, this is not going to be a score Maryland is going to want to count. So hoping the remainder of the lineup can turn it up a notch, but good for her for coming back after that and hitting that last pass. It's very difficult.
So now we move back over to Isabella Salcedo. She was outstanding on the vault. She and Bridgens tied for 22nd. And the junior from Daggett, gold medal gymnastics, 9.825 set this year at Ohio State.
And she is so lovely on balance beam. Smiles, dances, sings. You are in for a treat. Big test here, back handspring layout series. Beautiful. Notice her facial expressions. She's playing with the judges and the crowd while on balance beam. Good save. That was a switch half, very difficult element. She did touch the beam, which is a 3/10 flat deduction, unfortunately.
Sarah Brown still believes Penn State has great potential on the beam. They started with 13 athletes. She's, to use her words, zoned it down to 7.
Split jump to split 3/4, solid on that connection. Just the dismount, a front layout with a full twist. Near stick, not the routine they wanted. It was near perfect beside that one little blip. But very good control on the back handspring series. So sure of herself. And just off on that switch half, grabs the beam, but manages to stay on the apparatus. Had she fallen, that would have been 5/10, but grabbing the beam is a 3/10 deduction.
Good stuff from Olivia Karras. So here's Rhea LeBlanc, as we're still trying to find the Silberman score right before her. LeBlanc, the freshman from Arlington Catholic High School, career high 9.825 at the Big Fives, as she's also coming in hot. Brett Nelligan saying he's still looking for her to come out of her shell a little bit more on the floor.
And that comes with time. College gymnastics is so different from club gymnastics in that your performance value is very important. So it's a learning curve. Rhea will get there, but this is a great opportunity for her to prove herself as a staple in this lineup following the 9.425 from Emma Silberman. So both teams need to come back from mistakes.
How do you block out the weight when the judges are taking so much time with the gymnasts right before you're ready to go?
It's tricky, for sure. We don't talk about that enough in gymnastics. The waiting game, we call it. You have to just keep yourself loose. You can't control how long the judges take. So I was one to always kind of dance around and sing and move, but some people like to stay focused in their bubble.
Wait continues. As you also know, both teams have athletes returning from Achilles injuries. You had an Achilles injury at Michigan. How hard is it to recover from that injury?
It's no fun. Any season-ending injury is devastating, but I'm impressed so far with what I've seen from the athletes returning. Chickneus came back from an Achilles, Lauren Bridgens, and obviously Emma Silberman with her ACL. So seeing these young women succeed after that is really exciting.
So here we go with LeBlanc.
Front handspring to a front double twist. Same thing we saw from Emma Silberman in her last pass. A little trouble there on the landing, unfortunately. Second pass for Rhea, a front layout with a full twist to a front layout. Much better control there. Jump connection, switch side to Wolf full. Rhea does all forwards tumbling in this routine, and it is a requirement to go forwards and backwards, so she's going to do a round off to a back layout there to fulfill that requirement. Last pass for Rhea. It's a front handspring to a front 1.5 called a Rudy. Very nice there on that last pass. Little shuffle of the front foot, but the last two passes were definitely more controlled than the first one. Gymnasts are required to end their routine with a certain level of difficulty, and this fulfills that for Rhea. Good job on the Rudy dismount.
Rhea did earn the championship title on floor at the 2019 state competition in Massachusetts, but she might want that one back right there as we now move back over to the freshman Virova from Latvia. She had a 9 this year against Yale.
Big opening skill here. It's a punch front, very difficult. Handles it beautifully. Another big test, a back handspring layout step out series. Oh no.
Yeah, this is tough because Penn State already, 2 of its 3 lowest scores so far have been on beam, and now this one.
Unfortunately, with this fall, they're going to have to count the 2 9.5 scores from Ayers and Salcedo as Elena comes back with a nice split 3/4 element. Just the dismount left. It's a round off 1.5. Very big step there. She had that same issue last week. Couldn't really control the landing. You can see the team losing a little energy from these last couple routines as they know they aren't exactly what they're capable of.
So let's go back over to Maryland on the floor as you see LeBlanc 9.75 matching Rubio. Now it's Taylor Osterhout, sophomore from Clark Summit, PA, 9.85 in that impressive showing against Minnesota.
Excellent job on that tricky front through to double tuck opening pass. Lots of moving pieces and difficulty in there. Switch ring to Torjate. Would love to see her get a little more extension and split positioning on those leaps.
Brett Nelligan telling us that Taylor adds a little drama, some dramatic music here as part of her performance.
Little issue there on her straddle full to straddle full. She didn't get those leaps all the way around. The judges will take a deduction. Last pass for Taylor. It's a double pike. Good job. A little lack of control there. You saw her lean a bit backwards and had to take an extra step. Some trouble here and there, unfortunately, on floor for Maryland. Uncharacteristic for them. See that pass? Nice. She salutes at the end and then takes a step backwards, showing a little bit of a loss of balance. But good job.
Taylor, who performed at the United Sports Academy. And here comes Lauren Bridgens. Lauren Bridgens, the senior, season high in 2020, 9.9, or career high rather. Season high is 9.85 against Michigan.
And who else but Lauren Bridgens to go in on balance beam after a fall? The veteran needs to bring it back for them. Hitch kick to very confident front toss. Love this connection, a switch leap into a side aerial. So confident, well done. Nice full turn. Back handspring, layout, step out. Get a nice smile from Lauren Bridgens. She knows that they needed that big time.
Missed all of last season, and she's coming back. She's got 5 event wins already this year.
Round off 1.5. She wants the stick. Now that's a veteran. Sarah Brown knows it. Big claps. They needed that majorly to get them back on track, and she's so icy in how she competes. Beautiful back handspring layout step out series. The team bonded together watching her, and big applause as she drills that round off 1.5.
Yeah, Sarah Brown was pumped up. Sarah Brown's 2 boys, Isaiah and Elijah. As we move back over to Alexa Rothenbuscher, you see 3 9.75s on the floor for Maryland.
And Alexa has the potential to break out of the 9-7 rut.
She does. 9.85 2 times this season against Nebraska and Minnesota.
Big pass here, a round off whip to a double tuck. Looked like her knees buckled a little bit, but so much strength, and she brought it back.
Olivia, in this third rotation, neither team has posted a score better than 9.75.
Looks like there's a little bit of a third rotation struggle happening, and both teams need to reevaluate, really bring it back with these final routines and the last rotation. Good job on those leaps there. Still needs to get them around a bit to complete.
It's worth saying Bridges just broke that open there with a 9.875 when Penn State needed it most.
Very well deserved for her. Final pass for Alexa. Ends it with a double pike. Perfect stuck landing, and as Lauren Bridgens puts up a 9.875, Alexa responds well.
Maryland needed that right there. We'll take a look at that last pass. Really solid amplitude.
So well done. She gets great lift off the ground, sees the floor, and so controlled there on that landing. Didn't even need to lunge out of it.
So after Bridgens has a new season high, just below her career high of 9.9, it's now Maddie Johnson, the sophomore from Boyd's, Maryland. She had a 9.875 set this year last week at the Big Fives.
She moves so well through this routine. Opening test, back handspring layout, step out. Excellent. Split jump into difficult sheep jump, no problems there. Flawless side aerial element. Full turn, well done. Dean, if she could get the stick here, we may see a new career high for Maddie Johnston, because I've seen nothing wrong with this routine so far. Oh, just a step backwards, but so great. Oh my gosh, did I curse her? I hope not.
You're right, though. Everything right before that was there. So close, but
so solid. Needs to get up a little more off the balance beam. It looked like she didn't get enough lift off in order to get the 1.5 around completely, but stays on the beam. That's the important part.
Give her credit for trying to sell it as well. Always ready for the moment. Audrey Barber, 9.925 against Iowa back in 2020. She has hit the 9.9 3 times this year. And she's got 2 wins, also a big-time performance at the Big Fives.
Massive full twisting double back for Audrey Barber. She actually has taken her floor music from all 4 years and combined it into one remix for her 5th year floor routine. So cool. 1.5 to front pike. So well done.
Coach Nelligan always talking about the long lines and elegance of Barber. Maddie Johnston, 9.825.
Great job getting those leaps all the way around. You saw her start from one position and end in the exact same one. That's a no deduction landing. Just the last pass for Audrey Barber. It's a double tuck. Beautiful. Just what Maryland needed. Great job for Audrey Barber. My gosh, I'm going to miss seeing her out there.
Yeah, good start and a good finish for Barber.
This first pass is just huge. Full twisting double tuck, so sure of herself, knows where the ground is, and then caps it off with a sky-high double tuck. Again, knows exactly where the ground is, where the out of bounds is, stays in bounds, and caps it off nicely.
Historic rec call. We're going to keep it here for exhibition. Demiana Cox, the senior from Elmont, New York, on the beam.
And this routine is a treat. This is only her 2nd ever exhibition beam routine. See that large brace on her right knee. She was out of competition for 3 years, and in her senior season, she is contributing on the mat. Love seeing her open up so confidently with that front aerial back handspring.
Penn State in with a 48.525 on the beam.
Switch leap to straddle quarter. So far, so good.
Meanwhile, Barber a 9.875 on the floor.
Beautiful full turn. Front aerial to beat jump. A little hesitation there. Going into the beat jump, the judges will deduct. And a very unique dismount. Check this out. She does a cat leap into a side summy, directly into a tuck full. So much moving in that dismount, and a stuck landing. Couple little hesitations here and there, but so cool and unique to see a different dismount. And keeps it flowing there into the tuck full. That's a routine that Sarah Brown and the Nittany Lions really could use in their lineup.
Also an exhibition for Coach Nelligan and Maryland. Lindsey Batchelor, the freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina, the North Carolina state champ in the all-around, coming out of Crossroads High School.
This is great practice for Lindsey to compete. Her floor routine, double pike to open it up, over-rotated it a bit, had to move her front foot. Notice those mats on the floor. Gymnasts are allowed to have mats for their tumbling. No extra deduction for that. Switch ring to a tour jeté. Last pass for Lindsey in a so far great routine. Double tuck. Very low chest position there. You saw her chest practically touched her legs, which shows a little lack of rotation, but that's great to get under her belt moving forward.
Maryland now with a 48.95 on the floor, has finally taken the lead after 3 rotations. And we came on the air talking about the superstar seniors, Bridgens for Penn State, Barber for Maryland. Get this, through 3 rotations, Penn State super senior Lauren Bridgens, 29.6 in the all-around after this performance on the beam. Barber with a 9.875 on the floor, also at 29.6. They're dead even on the Big Ten Network. Later tonight, the regular season concludes on the ice as the Badgers and Gophers face off. Minnesota with a 1-point lead over Michigan and trying to get that all-important bye in the first round of the tournament. The puck drops tonight at 8 Eastern on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Here at Rec Hall after 3, Sarah Brown's Penn State team, they led through the first 2, but Maryland after the floor rotation, a slim lead over Penn State as Brett Nelligan's team takes the lead, but now they got to head over to the beam, so I gotta believe Coach Brown is feeling pretty good about where they sit right now.
And talk about a close meet. These teams are separated by 25 hundredths of a point. So there's a lot of exciting gymnastics still to happen here.
Penn State taking a look at their beam results. Lauren Bridgens throwing up the biggest score at 9.875.
Definitely not the balance beam rotation they were looking for. I know they're still trying to get their feet under them, but we're running out of time in season. So hoping they can head back into the gym and make the changes they need to put up 6 great routines in the postseason.
Take a look at Maryland's results on the floor. They dropped the Silberman score, but once again, Audrey Barber, just like Bridgens, they're tied in the all-around with a massive 9.875 in that anchor spot.
She's just so clutch. She always knows how to find the landings, deliver when necessary. She really needs to do that on balance beam as well.
She leads the team on the beam. She's 16th in the conference, 74th overall. However, Maryland, it's been a struggle. They're 48th in the nation on the beam. Meanwhile, Penn State is 22nd in the nation on the floor. We showed you Bridgens, we showed you Barber. As we take a look at the all-around situation, it was deadlocked through 2. Can you believe it is deadlocked through 3 here?
Talk about 2 of the best all-arounders in the Big Ten, and they're completely tied going into the last rotation. That's the kind of gymnastics you like to see.
Bridgens and Barber both at 29.6. Brett Nelligan, when I asked him about the beam, he said it's all about confidence. We've been doing the beam with enormous amount of confidence, really forceful and really sharp. Sometimes that does get us into trouble. Meanwhile, when we talk to Coach Brown about the floor, she said this is the event they've improved the most, and they hope to carry that into today, and they're going to need it to win it.
Both of these teams need to be extremely aggressive and confident. Brett Nelligan told us that when they get into the realm of doing timid beam work, doesn't end up so good. So they need to remain consistent, confident, and focus on what they can control, and that's their performances. They can't control what the judges do. They can control what they do on the balance beam.
Good to see Brett Nelligan. He actually finished top 10 in the NCAA on the ball during his time at UMass. He did 3 years of gymnastics. Then the last year, he was part of their diving team that won an Atlantic 10 title as Brett Nelligan, a high-level athlete. Here's the beam order for Brett Nelligan. As you see, Ware, Silberman, McClure, Kogler, DeBarberie, and Barber. Their season average at 48.458.
Really love seeing Reese McClure in that lineup. She's coming back from a couple little injury things here and there, so keep an eye out for her. She's been training the other events. Looking forward to having her back on all four.
Penn State led through the first two. Maryland strong enough on the floor to take that slim lead. We start, though, on the beam with Maryland. Olivia Ware, 9.85 at Michigan State this year. Her career high, she had a 9.8 last week, the Big Fives.
Olivia is a very sharp beam worker. Brett Nelligan's told us that she is so confident, and what she does in practice is normally what she does out on the competition floor. Nice save there. Looked a little off. She could have fallen, but she really fought hard. Lifted a leg up, which is going to be a deduction, but great job staying on the balance beam. Extremely difficult switch leap directly connected to a switch side. We don't see that very often in the NCAA.
Don't forget, coming up after this one, Michigan and Nebraska. Michigan trying to stay perfect.
Switch leap to standing layout, step out. Little bit of movement with her arms, but nice job remaining tight. And just the dismount of back handspring, 1.5 to a step landing. Nice job. The second half of the routine was very great, but the beginning had a couple little bobbles there that I know she's bummed about, but she stayed on the beam, Dean. That's the most important part. Beautiful air awareness, knows where she is, and holds that landing to show the judges that she has complete control.
Final rotation. There's the lineup. Bonzo, Johansson, Bridges, Verhova, Astorita, and then Salcedo. Bonzo, 2021 career high of 9.875.
Alyssa opens up with a double tuck. Beautiful, perfect landing. Notice she lunged out of that but kept her right front foot planted. That's a no deduction lunge. Layout half to front full. Little bobble there on the landing, lifted her leg. Great jump, switch half to wolf full.
Bonzo's season high at 9.825 against the Buckeyes.
Just the last pass, it's a double pike. She landed short last week, so I know she's trying to land upright. Oh, a little short again, just landing in a really deep squat. Needs to get a little more of a tighter takeoff off the floor to get that around properly. But the fifth-year senior does it again and does deserve the Mardi Gras tiara.
Ware got a 9.575 on the beam. Now it's Emma Silberman, the junior from New Hope, PA. She had a 9.9 at Towson in 2020. Her season high, Olivia, is a 9.85 against Minnesota in that big win. Just last week, she had a 9.825.
She had some problems a couple weeks ago on this opening tumbling series. Gretton-Elligan called it very uncharacteristic. Triple series, no issues today. So difficult. 2 back handsprings into a layout step out and absolutely nails it. Switch leap to straddle quarter. Beautiful. Love seeing her smile. Can almost see a sense of relief knowing she nailed that tumbling run earlier in the routine. And just the dismount, it's a round off 1.5. Almost stuck. She did a little bit of a college stick where she lands and steps out to salute. Slight lack of control there, but my goodness, what a great beam routine for Emma Silberman. So much difficulty packed in one tumbling run. Smirk when she lands. She knows it's good. And a great hit for the junior.
Coach Nelligan right there with good words to Silberman. Cassidy Rushlow, not Johansson. Johansson will be exhibition, but it'll be Rushlow with a 9.875 career high. She had a 9.8 in her last meet. Cassidy Rushlow on the floor for Penn State.
Cassidy has a lot of power. She opens up with a big double tuck. Great job.
I can tell you, Silberman, 9.725.
Second pass for Cassidy, a 1.5 to a front layout. Nice control there. She looked like she was a little too high on the 1.5, but found the punch well and great leaps. Last pass here. A Rudy to a sky-high split jump. Beautiful job, stayed inbounds. She was flirting with the out-of-bounds line, but knew where she was. Great job for Cassidy Rushlow. So fun seeing her blossom on floor exercise. Talk about power, major height, skyrockets that split jump, and knows exactly how to stay in bounds to finish the routine.
Well done, Cassidy Rushlow. Bonzo before her with a 9.775. We go back to the beam and Maryland. As you mentioned, Reese McClure, the junior from Frederick, Maryland. Career high 9.925 at Penn State a year ago. Season high 9.775.
Reese is one of my favorite beam workers. She is so confident on balance beam. Cat leap to front aerial. Oh no. Oh, she just looked so off on the front aerial and just couldn't hold on to the back handspring. Switch leap to straddle quarter. So this is going to be the routine they want.
9.875 for Rushlow. McClure, by the way, 2015 vault, beam, and all-around state champion from Maryland.
Repeats the series in order to get a 10.0 start value. Very important. And Very smart thinking by her to do that. And a unique step into a Rudy dismount. I know she's bummed about that. She's only competing one event and she wants to be her best on it, but good thinking by the junior to repeat that series. Such a nice dismount though, great height. Her technique is awesome. She knows exactly where she is.
McClure's teammate Emma Silberman with a 38.75 in the all-around, bettering her mark set at the big 5. Here's the veteran Lauren Bridgens. It'll come down to Bridgens and Barber for the all-around title. Lauren Bridgens. Sarah Brown choreographed something that she doesn't do a lot, this routine. A 9.95 is the career high for Bridgens on the floor. Season high, 9.85.
And this is the hardest event to come back on after an Achilles tear. So major props to Lauren for being back on floor exercise and opening it up like that with a massive double tuck. It's exactly what she wants to be doing. Second pass, Rudy to massive layout step out. My gosh, it's one of my favorite passes in the NCAA.
Yeah, that was like the Matrix a little bit, slow motion on that final move.
If it doesn't look like the Matrix, I don't want it.
Didn't hurt that Rushlow put up a 9.875. Really lets Lauren Bridgens kind of let it all loose.
Switch half to Wolf full. Good job.
You won a lot of all-around titles. Is she keeping track of that?
I don't think so. I think she's just having fun going out there and enjoying her final year as a Nittany Lion. And what a great final pass, one of her last times in Rec Hall. You got to soak in those moments, and she does, holding that ending pose. This middle pass is so great. Look at that huge layout step out. Judges are looking for the second salto in connecting salto passes to rise, and that's exactly what that one did. Very good.
Don't forget, it's a doubleheader of Big Ten women's gymnastics. Your reigning national champs and undefeated Michigan, who's had not one but two 198 pluses. They are in Lincoln to take on Heather Brink and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Back-to-back Big Ten women's gymnastics right here on the Big Ten Network. As we wait for the beam score, we got to talk about a big issue. On March 19th, it's the Big Ten champions. On March 18th, we'll go to practice, and they're already starting like this circulation on whether Olivia Karras is going to get on the beam or get on the floor on that Friday before the Big Ten championships. What's the answer?
The answer is no thank you, and I will leave it to the pros who are on the floor now.
Darn it. Bridgens with a 9.925, by the way. That was huge and might go a long way toward her winning the all-around at Rec Hall. McClure in with a 8.90 rather. You see it right there. And that means Josephine Kogler will need a big score so they can get rid of that McClure score.
And she's the person to do it. She's just a freshman, but her balance beam work is exquisite. Great job on that opening switch leap straddle quarter connection.
So you won't be on the beam in Columbus.
I will not. Back handspring, layout, step out, a little off, but so clean in those elements. Has to lift her leg off the balance beam. That'll be a deduction, but comes back to the routine. A front walk over. Again, the gymnasts have to move forwards and backwards in their routines. Switch leap. Split jump needs to get her back leg up a little bit more. She was flirting with the 180-degree split position. Just the dismount for Josephine. A gainer full to a step landing. Regardless of the wobble on the series, they needed that. Considering the sizable break from Reese McClure, they needed that big time. And for a freshman to do it can only bring more confidence to her and to the Maryland team.
So well said. And Coach Nelligan recognizing how important that was as we move back over to Penn State. Alina Varova, a ballerina routine, conducting the orchestra, according to head coach Sarah Brown.
Alina opens up with the double tuck. Excellent.
Josephine, 9.675, solid on the beam for Maryland.
Second pass for Alina. It's a front layout to a front full. Very well done. Nice job getting those leaps all the way around.
Concentration.
Definitely looking to perform a little more as she gets more comfortable competing at Rec Hall, but awesome job on that double pike to finish it off. She has such a bright future for Penn State. She is going to be one to watch in her 4 spectacular years as a Nittany Lion.
High fives and a big smile. Let's break down the last pass, Olivia.
Massive height, knows where she is, and I love the college finish, throwing her head back, getting so excited about her performance.
We've seen different angles. Another good crowd here at Rec Hall as women's college gymnastics across the country. The crowds have been just amazing.
I love seeing people come out and support these gymnasts. It's such an exciting time in NCAA gymnastics, specifically in the Big Ten.
Elizabeth DeBarbery up on the beam for Maryland, 9.825 against Michigan State. She had a 9.8 at the Big Fives.
Opens it up with a full turn. Great job on her back handspring layout, step out.
Lena, by the way, a new career high, 9.9 on the floor.
So awesome to see her reach that mark. Oh no, good save. Had to bend at the hips. That's gonna be a pretty big deduction. Maryland, to me, seems a little timid on balance beam. Brings it back very well with that cat leap to front aerial.
See Audrey Barber warming up in the background. They'll need a big score to tie Bridgens.
Round off 1.5 to a stuck landing. Bummed about that break on the jump combination, but she really did a nice job of not giving away any other tenths throughout the routine, specifically on this dismount. Her eyes were up perfectly, knew where she was. So even though there was a big break, she still should get a good score.
You see the 9.9 new season high from Alina. Now it's Melissa Astorita for Penn State, the senior from Morganville, New Jersey. She has a career high of 9.925, a season high of 9.875.
And she opens it up with a huge open double tuck, doesn't even grab her legs, and a perfect landing. Second pass for Melissa, a 1.5 to a front layout. Good job working through that. Coach Sarah Brown told us she's really working hard to dance and smile and have fun in this routine.
Yeah, we heard she might do the Cam Newton Superman as well. We'll see if that's in there.
Oh, that's exciting. Nice leap combination. Last pass for Melissa. It's a double pike. Nice job. A little overcooked there on the landing. You saw her have to scoot back a bit, but Melissa Astorita has competed in every single meet in her career, and she's done very well in all of them. Great lift off, and see her feet go under her just a little bit too much. She couldn't control the landing as well as the first pass, but still should be a great score.
So now it's about the all-around situation. So Audrey Barber needs a 9.925, which happens to be her career high, which she set this year against Nebraska. She needs that score just to tie Bridgens. She's coming off a 9.75 at the Big Five, so you wonder if she's thinking about that at all, or if she's thinking about that performance against the Cornhuskers.
Audrey is so elegant on this event. Opens up with a front aerial. Nice job covering that up. She looked a teeny bit off there and had to circle one of her arms to get herself back on track. Flawless back handspring layout step out. So sure of the landing.
The deduction for the arm circle is?
It depends.
Okay.
Could be between a half-tenth, a tenth, depends on what the judges saw on their angle. But nothing there. Excellent connection between the front toss and the beat jump. A leap pass, a switch leap, split jump. Good job moving through that.
She saw Bridgens set a new season high on the floor with that 9.925 that she needs to tie Bridgens.
Just the dismount for Audrey. She does a round off into a double twist. She's cat-like. She can find this landing. And a hop backwards. I don't know if it's going to be a 9.925, but what an amazing athlete who just comes in clutch every single time for Maryland.
Obviously, we're having fun looking forward to Columbus. She will be an athlete that could make some noise in Columbus, Olivia.
Absolutely. Definitely keep an eye on Audrey Barber. She could medal on any event as well as in the all-around.
Isabella Salcedo, the freshman from Arlington, Texas, Laurel Springs online. A sassy salsa routine where she'll even blow some kisses to the crowd.
And check out this first pass. She does a double front. So difficult. Not many gymnasts do this pass because of how tricky it is. Massive double front to a perfect landing. My goodness, Isabella Salcedo has come to play.
9.875 for Barber. That means Bridgens is your all-around winner. Barber actually with a 9.825.
See that standing layout step out, required to go backwards in this routine as all of her tumbling is forwards.
She plays to the judges too.
Oh yeah, she's a performer. I just love watching her compete. Final pass for Isabella, a front lay to a front full to a front pike. Jam-packed, nothing wrong with that. Switch side to a switch Shushanova with a full twist. That should be a new career high, Dean. I saw nothing wrong with that routine.
No, Penn State did enough to get that first Big Ten win of the season as well. Sarah Brown felt like that was really important as we push toward the Big Ten champions. So Penn State wins it, and Lauren Bridgens takes the all-around in a tight one with Audrey Barber. The Penn State Nittany Lions getting that elusive Big Ten victory at home here at Rec Hall.
They needed it big time.
So we are going to show an exhibition on the beam for Maryland. It's Rubio, which is important for Brett Nelligan as well.
Crazy hard series, a standing front tuck into a back handspring, super unique. Considering some of the issues in this beam lineup in this competition, Alexis Rubio could make a name for herself here with a hit routine. Straddle to straddle 3/4. Lots of difficulty in that jump combination. Nice full turn.
Isabella Salcedo tied Bridgens on the floor.
Just the dismount, a cartwheel, tucked 1.5. If I'm Brett Nelligan, I'm putting Alexis Rubio in my beam lineup after that perfect beam routine.
The two super seniors advertised and they delivered. Barber outstanding, but Lauren Bridgens wins the all-around title, and Penn State gets the first Big Ten win of the season. Coming up next, the gymnastics doubleheader rolls on as top-ranked Michigan, your reigning national champs, compete against Nebraska in Lincoln. John Roethlisberger and Olivia Karras on the call. That's coming up next on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Here at Rec Hall, though, Sarah Brown's team with a new team high this season. They also set new season highs on 3 events, delivering their goods and getting that Big Ten victory as we bring in the 5th-year head coach of Penn State, Sarah Brown. Sarah, you were expecting this kind of a performance, and your athletes delivered.
You could just feel the energy the entire week building for us to come back home this weekend. We've been on the road for a long time, so I'm really happy to see it paying off for the athletes. They've worked so hard for this, and the fans helped us out a lot tonight. It was a great environment.
Sarah, talk to us about that floor rotation at 49.45 and so much room for improvement.
Yeah, wow, how about that? That's how you close out a meet, and I think that shows a little bit of the culture we're building right now. Obviously, we had a few bumbles on beam that we weren't expecting, but the athletes bring the energy night in and night out, and for the team to close out the competition like that, I just couldn't be more proud. I take the lead from them, and I'm so proud of them tonight.
You've got a couple more tune-ups. Your freshmen are starting to step up. We know about Lauren Bridgens. How are you feeling about being in Columbus for the Big Ten championships?
We're super excited. That's an area that we're pretty comfortable with. We love having the podium, so we're really looking forward to postseason, and we can't wait to be there. We've got one more home meet here that we're excited to send off our seniors with well wishes, and then we'll hit the road again after that.
Big-time result on the Big Ten Network. Congratulations, Coach Brown.
Thank you, guys.
Sarah Brown, always a pleasure. I know you spent time with her at Michigan as well. Lauren Bridgens, yet another all-around title.
So exciting for this 5th-year senior, and she has more to give. She's working on that upgraded vault to the 1.5. So rock solid on uneven bars, where she's received a perfect 10. Brilliant beam work with that stuck 1.5, and of course closing out the show on floor exercise. These are the moments that you just always remember, and as a senior, I know Lauren Bridgens is excited to continue making memories.
And Lauren Bridgens joins us now, her 13th title on the uneven bars and her 12th all-around win of her career. Lauren Bridgens, Penn State was looking for that Big Ten win. It was great to get it at Rec Hall, right?
Yeah, it really was. You know, it's been a while since we put a whole meet together like this, and I feel like we all just kind of built off each other today and never let up and just kept pounding the whole time, and that's what we came here to do today. So this win feels really good.
Lauren, you're looking so great coming back from your Achilles tear. How do you feel, and what are you looking most forward to in the coming weeks?
I'm actually feeling pretty good. Everyone asks me that all the time. You you never know coming back for a 5th year. You know, I'm 23 years old now. I was out last year with the Achilles tear, so I didn't really know how my body was going to hold up, but I'm feeling really good, and our coaches are all trusting us with our training and listening to us because we know our body's the best. So I'm just looking forward to postseason with this team because we have so much left to accomplish yet this year, and I can't wait to see what we can do.
As you know, Lauren, Olivia Karras brought so much spirit during her injury. You're doing the same thing for these youngsters. Your freshmen are delivering. Talk about being a leader for the youngsters.
Our freshman class is incredible. They show up every single week. They push all of us to be better. You know, we push them, but they push us back. You know, they're pushing to get in these lineups, and they're just as important part of this team as any of the rest of us. So it's really nice to just have a big class like that with so many different personalities meshing into this team and making us greater than we were before. So just looking forward to see what they have left to accomplish in their careers.
Enjoy the team win, the all-around win, and we look forward to seeing you live in Columbus for the Big Ten Championships.
Thank you.
Lauren Bridgens, always outstanding. As we take a look at the results for Sarah Brown on the floor, the youngster Salcedo with a 9.925 to match Bridgens.
What a great floor exercise rotation, and like I said, they have more to give. There were a few areas on floor where I felt they could have been a little better, and to come out with a 49.45 is a massive accomplishment for Penn State.
I love the message from Lauren Bridgens as well. Brett Nelligan's team, who had that massive win against Minnesota, they come up a little short. Audrey Barber, though, with a 9.825, so finished second in the all-around.
Definitely not the performance today that Maryland and Brett Nelligan were looking for, but I know this team is resilient. They're going to go back in the gym, reevaluate what happened, and clean things up going into championships.
Quick 10-second thought on Michigan and Nebraska coming up on the Big Ten Network.
You better keep your TV on this channel because this is going to be an exciting competition, a Big Ten rivalry. I'm looking forward to it.
A double dip of Big Ten women's gymnastics, where we continue to see big-time results right here on the Big Ten Network. Lauren Bridgens, she wins the beam and bars. She ties on the floor. 12th all-around win of her career. The 13th title on the bars and the second on the balance beam for Lauren Bridgens, coming back from injury and indeed ready to roll. That's going to wrap it up from Penn State, where the Penn State Nittany Lions get their first Big Ten win of the season over Maryland. And the all-around winner is from Penn State, Lauren Bridgens, as she's able to beat Audrey Barber. Don't forget, coming up next, it's more Big Ten women's gymnastics. #1 Michigan, your reigning national champs, taking on Nebraska. For Jim Ressler, our producer, and his amazing crew, my stat man Mike Rudolphi, and our All-American Olivia Karras, I'm Dean Linke. Good afternoon from State College, and enjoy Michigan and Nebraska.